Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in day 6 of Firebase for Web series. And today I will talk about cloud functions. And yesterday, in till now in day 5, we have covered Firebase for Web, and then we have talked about Firebase authentications. Inside, we have talked about two methods like sign in with Google, and second, you can sign in or authenticate your user with the help of email and password. And then after we have talked about Cloud Firestore, how we can use Firestore for adding a data in terms of you can apply CRUD operations, create, read, update, and delete. And then yesterday I have talked about cloud storage that we can use the cloud storage for storing block type of data. Maybe you can store image file, audio file, text file, anything you can store. So now today I will talk about cloud functions. So what is a cloud functions? So as you know, Firebase is providing a lot of services like you can use. For example, if you want to implement a login kind of feature, you can go for the Firebase authentications. Or if you want to store a data, then you can store a data in Cloud Firestore, or you can use real-time database. Or if you have an image file, audio file, or text file, you want to add data into the Firebase, then you can use cloud storage. Or there are a lot of services that you can use, but sometime in your applications, maybe in your web applications or a mobile applications, you just need to write some business logic. Maybe you can write your business logic in making APIs with the help of Node.js, PHP, or any other things. So similarly, functions, the same thing. They are like you can use cloud functions to write your business logic. Maybe you can write your business logic to access to communicate within a services of the Firebase. Like for example, if the user is authenticated, so maybe we can trigger a mail to the user to welcome mail, thank you so much, and this is thank you for joining our organizations, or something we can trigger. Or let's suppose someone have added a file into cloud storage, so maybe we can trigger a mail to the user like thank you for uploading a file or something, that we can do that. So cloud functions is a like we can use cloud functions as a writing our business logic. And one of the best thing about cloud functions is you just need to focus on the code part, and that's it. And you just need to deploy it on Firebase. And your logic will be private and secure, because they are working on HTTPS, and you are storing your data like these functions in managed environment. You just not need to worry about managing the infrastructure or writing how your code is running and all. So just need to focus on the code part, and that's it. So same thing, you can use cloud functions in two way. Either you can create either you can create a REST API with the help of HTTP request method. Like for example, I can create APIs with the help of cloud functions through the HTTPS request method. Or I can use cloud functions to communicate between the services within a Firebase. For example, uh, like a user added a data into Cloud Firestore. So maybe we can trigger a cloud functions to send a confirmation mail, or sending a mail, or we can communicate with different services. You can do that. So you can write your cloud functions in JavaScript or TypeScript, and that code will be stored into the Google Cloud Infrastructure environment, and that is fully managed services. And just need to focus on the code part, and no need to manage and scale your applications, and no need to worry about that things. So now this is one of the best use cases for the cloud functions. So for example, we have a uh, like collections in Firestore. The collections name is users. Inside users, we have a number of documents. So inside documents, we have a feeds like followers. So whenever you got one followers, so what you want to do, you will get the new followers, you will add the data to the database, and then you can trigger a functions, and then you can call the service. So my service is FCM, Firebase Cloud Messaging. We can use Firebase Cloud Messaging to send a push notification to the mobile or devices. So like whenever you got a followers, so that data and store into the database, and then you will call a cloud functions to send a push notification to the user, and that's it. We can do that. So same thing, like we can use overall like cloud functions for writing a business logic. So like how we can use cloud functions. So there are few steps that we need to follow. First, we need to create a project into the Firebase account, and then you need to install Node.js, and then you need to install Firebase CLI. So as of now, I'm sure you have Node.js installed because you are using Firebase CLI for the Firebase hosting. And then the third part, you need to initialize your project. So maybe you can initialize your project by creating a web applications or any other things. And then fourth part, you need to import required module or initialize the applications. So same thing like we did in storage or Firestore or authentications. So we did like we just copied a configuration file and we just paste it in our JavaScript part, and then we have used it. So same thing, we have to work on it. And the fifth part, we have to write a business logic. Maybe we have to write a functions where we can add some set of amount of logic and all. And for deployment, like for same like we did for the Firebase hosting, so we have to run a command for the functions. Just need to type Firebase deploy hyphen hyphen only functions, and then you can deploy, and then you can access your cloud functions. So so this is an example for HTTP cloud functions. So as I told you earlier, like you can use cloud functions in two way. Either you can go for the HTTP request, or you can create a cloud functions to access Firebase services. So this is an example for HTTP. So like my function's name is a hello world. So my function's name is a hello world, and then I'm calling this is the by default properties in a Firestore, not Firestore functions. So we are using functions. Inside functions, we are using HTTP as a feature, like types of key value pair. And then I'm requesting. So I need to use a method for on request method. And that will work as a like if you have worked on Node.js or Express.js. So same thing, we have to do that. So we have a two parameter request and response. So request is like you are requesting for something, and there will be a response. So you can respond like whenever this function will call, you have to in a response you have to share this message. So this is a URL. Once you deploy your cloud functions, so you need to call this open this URL, and you will get this like string. And the second, you can in like for example, you can call cloud functions within accessing the Firebase services. So for example, I have created a fire function. My function's name is add data, and then I'm using Firebase no, functions. So inside functions, I need to access Firestore. So I'll just write Firestore, and then uh, I need to call the functions like whenever the user will add a data into Cloud Firestore, we need to invoke a functions. So we have to write which document we need to invoke the functions. So we have a document, and inside we have a collections name is edata, and then we have a ID, and then we have to call on create method. Means whenever we create a data into Cloud Firestore, this function will be invoked, and this is a logic. So what I'm doing, like I'm in a edata collections. I have a document with the field A and B. So we have a value. Well, let's say A is equal to 5, B is equal to 6. So what I'm doing, I will add this logic, and I will add the result in different collections. So right now I'm getting a collections data from edata as a collections, and I will store that result in a result collections. Okay, so we'll give you the demo how we can create. So the same thing, what I'll do, you need to go for the cloud functions, Firebase console, and then you can create a new project or you can use existing project. So right now I'm using existing project. And one more things, like for accessing a cloud functions, you just need a Blaze account, like premium account. You need to add a billing. You cannot access the cloud functions in a free plan, Spark plan. So you have to go for the Google Cloud, and then you need to enable a billing account, and that's it. Just because cloud functions is working on Node 10 or more than Node 10 environment, so they are running that cloud functions in a virtual machine. So we have to pay something into the Firebase. Okay, so this is my Firebase project, and then we have a functions. So if you go to the functions, so this is a functions. So we can create a functions. So what I'll do, I'll minimize this logic, and we have a VS Code editor, and then we have created a file. I have created a file, name is cloud functions. I just open this directory inside my VS Code editor. Okay, so first I will create a new project. So I'll go to the terminal and I will type Firebase init and press enter. And then it will ask, are you ready to proceed? Yes, I'm ready to proceed. And then right now we are working on functions. So we are not working on hosting part. So I'll select only function. That's it. So just select function and then press enter. And then it will ask you for the project. So maybe you can go for the existing project or you can create your own project. So I'll go with the existing project. So my project name is test app Firebase. So I'll just search test app Firebase. So this is the last one project I am working on. So I'll just select this project, and then it will ask you for the language, like which language we want to use. Like maybe you can go for the JavaScript, or you can write a type of cloud functions with the help of TypeScript. So right now we are working on JavaScript. So I'll select JavaScript and then press enter. And then it will ask for the ESLint. That is just like as a plugin for the writing good amount of code. So right now we are not using ESLint. So I'll just type press N. And then do you want to install dependency? Yes, we need to install the dependency. So I'll just press Y and then install. So there will be some dependency. So when you go to the directory, so there is a file functions directory. Inside functions, we have index.js file, we have package.json file, which is a configurational file for the node module. So like if you have a knowledge with node.js, so you can easily create a cloud functions. So we have a project name, project description. These all are the script file. And right now these our cloud functions is working on node 12 environment. And this is a main file, which is a main file is node index.js file. And these all are the dependency. And then we have a dev dependency, and this is a private project. So that's it. Now, this thing is complete. So now I can close and I can go to the directory here. And then we have files, like first file is package.json file, which is a configuration file for the project management in NPM. And then second, we have an index.js file. Here we have to write our cloud functions. And then we have a git ignore file that you can use for the GitHub. So mainly we have to work on this file. Okay. So right now we're like this logic is in Node.js. So you have to little bit have a knowledge of Node.js. So first we have to install a dependency. So we have a module. Right now we are using cloud functions. So we just import cloud functions. And then for example, you can uncomment this logic. And then this is a cloud functions. My cloud functions name is a hello world. And then this is a HTTP cloud functions. So whenever we are accessing this URL. So it will be accessing the URL on HTTP. So this is a HTTP cloud functions. And then whenever user will access the URL over the browser, we will send hello from Firebase. So we'll use response.send method for sending a message to the user. So for right now, this is by default logic. I will deploy this cloud function. So I'll go to the terminal once again, and then we need to deploy a cloud functions. So just we need to type Firebase and then deploy, and then we are working on cloud functions. So I'll just type hyphen only, and then you need to type functions and then just paste it. Okay, so we have to wait for a minute, maybe. Yeah, it's working. So cloud functions is going to deploy, and yeah, so these all are the cloud functions. Yeah, it's going to deploy in 12 node 12, and my functions name is hello world, and this is a region, US Central. Okay, do you have any doubt till now? Yeah. Okay. With the HTTP cloud functions, we can create a REST APIs, like we can send a data to the Firebase, or we can get the data from the Firebase. We can do that. So like we are working on this thing, this logic is working on. Yeah, so my cloud functions is deployed. This is a URL, deploy complete. So once you go to the functions tab, and maybe you can reload the page, and then you will get your functions. So this is a dashboard. My functions name is hello world, which I have defined here. Hello world is my functions name, and this is the HTTP URL. So we need to request with this URL, and we'll get this output. Okay, and this is a reason. And right now we are working on Node.js, and this is a 12, and this is the memory size and the timeout. So I'll just copy this URL, and I will paste it here, and then so this is coming from the function, and we have written here respond.send. Okay, so similarly we can collect the data from what we can do, we can, through the HTTP service, we can collect the data from Cloud Firestore, and we can read the data, and we can print the data here. We can do that. So we'll create a simple applications through the cloud functions. So right now, for accessing different services within a Firebase, we just need to use Firebase admin SDK. So we have to use admin, like import Firebase SDK. So I'll just type required here, and in the index value this package.json, we have already import the dependency Firebase admin. So we will work on Firebase admin here, and then you need to initialize our app. So we'll write admin.initialize app, and that's it. Now you can access the services. I have created a code, a repository or documentation that you can go for it. Maybe I'll share this URL here. So this is a source code, like we have a project directory, and so this is a directory, like we have a firebase.json file, then we have a functions, inside functions we have package.json file and index.js file, and this is an example. So we'll work on it. Okay, so now what I want to do, whenever I call this URL, I need to read the data from Firebase. So like maybe I have I'll go to the Cloud Firestore, and I'll create a collections. Maybe you can add a collections name is a user, and then maybe here you can pass user one as a collections, and then here you can write name. Here you can write maybe Brijraj, and you can pass age maybe 23, and then save. So through the cloud functions, we need to read the data from Cloud Firestore. So this is a logic. Whatever to do, this maybe this line we can remove, and then we need to work on it. So we are using admin. So through the admin SDK, we can call the Firebase services. So we have using admin. Inside admin, we are working on Firestore. So I'll write Firestore. Inside Firestore, we are working on, we need to read the data from which collections. So collections name is user. So we'll write users. And then we need to read the data from this collections, or we can read the data from the specific document. So I'll just define a document. My document ID is user one. So I'll just type user one as a doc. And then for read the data, you just need to call get method. And this method will give you the promise, means the docs, run doc. Okay, so this is a doc. And here you will get the doc, so you can print the data with the help of console.log, as you know already, like doc.data. So you will get the data. And for accessing a name and age, so you just need to type, this is a JavaScript object, so you just need to type age, and similarly you can type console.log. So what we'll do, we'll go for, we will create a age, name is equal to, we'll write this one, and let age is equal to, maybe you will write same thing for the age, and second one is for the name. Okay, now what you want to do, you want to share the data. So here what you can do, like here you can pass a response hello from Firebase, not Firebase, from the user. So I'll just type from plus symbol name and plus symbol and age. Maybe you can pass the age. Okay, the same simple logic, you will get this logic here. So same thing we did in here. So we'll explain this one. Okay, so I'll just save, and we'll deploy these functions once again. So just need to deploy this function one as second time. So what this function will do, when we'll call this function, so it will go to the Firestore. Inside Firestore, we have a collections name is user, and from this is a document. It will collect the data, and then we will print from here, and that's it. So it will update. You need to wait for a minute. It will take some time. Okay, so this is a URL, and this is the data. Yeah, so you have to wait. Okay, so like if you have any doubt, you can ask me right now. Okay, so my function is deploy. I just need to, maybe you can go to the cloud functions, and you will get the HTTP URL for the functions. Yeah, so this is the functions, and this is the HTTP URL. So maybe you can copy this URL, and I will paste the same URL. So just reload this page, and you need to paste 2 3 times because yeah, so it's working. So hello from Raj, which age is 23. So right now data is coming from the database. So we have a data in Cloud Firestore is of Raj as a name, and then this function is working. So you can use this function as a HTML file. Maybe you can parse here. You can send as a HTML page as a server-side rendering part. Here you can add a HTML syntax, or you can create a APIs. So I'll give you the example. So what I'll do, I have a Raj as a name. So I'll add Raj Singh and just reload this page. So it will work as a like the part. So now this will give you as a string. So what I'll do, I'll create an API. So maybe we can create APIs with my APIs is get data. So you can create APIs. That API will return as a JSON data. So maybe you can create a data. We have a name here. Name is a key, and this is a value. This one, and similarly, age is equal to this one, and we need to send the data to the output. So we'll use response.json. So response.json method will we need to pass this data. So that will work like as a APIs, as a REST API to get the data from the Firebase Firestore. Okay, so I will deploy these functions once again, and then we need to wait for a minute. Okay, okay, so it's working. So now next part, yeah, I will show you the demo, and then I'll talk about, yeah, then I'll talk about, let's suppose I have a collections. My collections name is eData. So this is my collections name. Here, maybe we can create a document having a field A is the value is maybe 4, and we'll add another field. The value is 6, and then we'll save a document. Okay, so we have a collections name is eData. Inside we have a document, and then we have a two field. So what I want to do, I will write a cloud functions. What will do, whenever user will create a document inside this collections, so my cloud functions will read the data from that collections. Read the data means read the value of A and read the value of B, and that function will sum this value. So the result is A plus B, and we need to store this result in the another collection. So we can do that with the help of here this functions. So right now this function is deploy. I'll just reload this page 2 times. Maybe you have to wait, reload this page. The URL is same or thing. I will go to the hosting. Central will go, and maybe yes, same URL. Just we need to wait for a 2 3 times, just because of it caching. So this data is as written as a like JSON. So you can do that now. Okay, so you can use as a REST API. Now we'll do the same step like as I explained in the earlier. Like we have a Firestore. Inside Firestore, we have a collections eData. Whenever the user will add a document, uh, add a field like A and B. So what our cloud functions will do, will cloud functions will collect the data from this document. The value is A and B, and then it will sum, and we will store the this sum result into the another collections. So we can do that. So we'll write a logic. So we have to create a cloud functions. So I'll just yeah, so we'll write a cloud function. So my first we need to write export, and then my cloud functions name is add data, and then equal to, and then we are using functions. So inside functions we are using Firestore because we need to work on Firestore, and then we need to define a document. So we'll write a document from which document this function will call. So here my e-data is a collections. So we'll write e-data slash, and this is an ID for this document. Like whenever a user will add a data on this document, so we need to trigger this function. So I'll writing this logic here. And then we need to write on create as a method dot on create. Okay. So this on create method will give you like two as a callback. First one is a snap. Snap means a data, and then we have a context. So this is a documentation like query snapshot, and then we have a context. So this is a context. Okay. So this function will trigger when the user will create a data. On create means will create a data on this document. The document where is we have a document. The document is the collections, and this collections, this is a document ID. Okay. So what I want to do, I need to collect the value of A and B. So I'll just collect the value. So I'll write A, like let A is equal to how we can get the value. So you can collect the value from this snap. Snap is a snapshot, and this is a data. So we'll use snap.data. And then this is again is a JavaScript object. Same thing we did. Like snap could be considered as a document. So we use dot data, and then so then we have a value is A. Okay. So same thing will for the let B is equal to, here you can write snap dot data, and then you will add B. Okay. And the second thing, right now we are going to storing this data as a string, is a double quotes. So what we will do, we will create change the data into the integer. So we'll reuse parse int as a method. Okay. So this is for the parse int, and this is again for the parse int. Okay. So we will sum this logic. C is equal to maybe A plus B. Okay. Now the logic is done. Now we need to write this logic data, this output into the another collections. So we can do that. So first we need to type admin, and then admin inside we are using Cloud Firestore, and inside we need to add a collections, from which collections you want to add a data. So let's say my collections name is result. So I'll write result, and then we need to call this add method for adding a data. So what we'll do, this add method will take as a JavaScript object. So we will create an object. So let data to add, and we need to create a JavaScript object. Here, what we can do, we can print a message. Maybe you can print a value of A is equal to A, and here you can print B is equal to B, and here you can print sum is equal to C. Okay. And then you can maybe print a timestamp. You totally up to you. So I can go for the timestamp, let's suppose. So I'll just type time stamp is equal to new date. Okay. So we'll add this data. So I'll just copy this data and we'll paste it in add method. And then this is a JavaScript promises. So we'll get a document. So we can print here console.log, and here maybe you can pass like success, and like with the, is there any issue, so we can handle with catch block console.log. Okay. So this is a simple logic. We need to perform a call the cloud functions on create method. Means whenever the user will create a document inside this collections, this function add data will be called. So we will collect the data from this document. So my documents is A and B. So we have collected the value and we have stored the result, and then we have a data. So this is, and then we have stored the data. Okay. And here maybe you can pass a message, like message kind of string, like you can use a sum of a is equal to a, and then you can pass a and b. So you just need to add as a b plus symbol, and then you can pass is equal to, and then result is c. Okay, so you can pass this message. So what I do, I will deploy this functions again, cloud functions. So it will going to deploy. So you will go to the documentation, you will get a lot of methods, like this is a cloud functions documentations. So you'll go to the trigger background functions. So you can trigger a background functions on Firestore. So right now we are working on Firestore. Maybe you can trigger a cloud functions to real-time database, authentication, analytics, cloud storage. You can do that. So right now we are working on cloud Firestore. So this is a method that we can trigger here. Yeah. So we are using this method like on create method, on update, on delete, or on write. So this function will trigger when a document is written for the first time. Okay. And this on update, you just need to change this method here. So right now we are using on create method, means this cloud functions when trigger when this document is written for the first time, or we can call functions when the user will update the data. We can trigger on delete type of functions in a cloud file store when the user will delete the document, and this will trigger when on create and on update, and this will trigger. Okay, and here is a documentation, you can go it and yeah, my function is deploy, and I will reload this page. Okay, and I will delete this e data as a collections right now for the understanding purpose. So I'll just delete this e data as a collections, and I will create a collection. So whenever user will add a data inside e-data as a collections, so we have a document. This is a random document, and we have a values. Let's say a value is 34. The value of b is equal to, maybe you can pass 45, and then press save. And our cloud functions will trigger, and what they will, it will collect the value from a and b, this document, and then will sum, and we will create another collections. Inside collections we can it will add a data. So it will not work in real time, so maybe you can change the tab or just reload the page. So we have another collections is result. So inside collections we have a document, and this is a data. So we have the value, like a, the value of a is 34. We have written this logic. This is a javascript word logic. So value of a is equal to 34, b is equal to 45, and the sum of in terms of as a message, and then we have a sum, c is equal to this one. Okay, so same thing we can do that, like maybe e-data will create another document. So here maybe you can pass document as a random ID. So you can pass the value a, and then maybe you can pass 2, and the value b, and then you can pass 3. So 2 and 3 is equal to 5. So in the result document, you will get, yeah, so we have two documents. So for the result we have a value a and b. So sum of 2 and 3 is equal to 5, and this is a way. So this is how you can trigger a cloud functions to interacting between the cloud Firebase services. So you can go to the documentations. Yeah, so this is a sidebar, and then you can call a function, call the functions directly. As I told you, you can create a HTTP request type of functions, or you can interact between the services. So you can interact between the services based on trigger, background trigger. Okay, so as of now, do you have any confusion or questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a confusion related the integration part.
Sorry.
So integration part. So how will integrate the the
Cloud
front end
function.
part? Yes, sir.
Okay.
Function.
So yeah, so you can integrate the cloud functions like for example, you have written a HTTP cloud functions. So like let's suppose we have created this cloud functions that will give you the JSON data. Okay. So this cloud functions will work as a APIs, right? So you just need to copy this API as a path, and then maybe you can go for you can create a new file, maybe index.html. Inside index.html, you can use fetch as a method for getting a data, and then you can get the data.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so this will work as a REST APIs, like if you are working on HTTP functions, or if you are working on like on trigger based cloud functions. So you don't need to access that functions; it will automatically trigger. So right now, we are using some of second type of functions for triggering uh, like using the services within a Firebase. So not need to work on like it will automatically execute. So second type of functions that we need to work. So HTTP, you can use it with the uh, this one HTTP. So through the HTTP, like this is a protocol, HTTP protocol, we are accessing this function, and this function will automatically invoke once we will create a document inside this collections e-data collection. Okay, this function is very easy. Like most of the corporate in the company, they are working on function side. Like for example, if you are working on AWS, so we have alternative like lambda functions. So lambda functions equal to cloud functions. So same thing. Again, like these all are the serverless architecture. Serverless means they are not running without the server. They are running on a server. They are right more focusing on writing a business logic rather than managing the infrastructure, like the scalability and how your code is going to deploy and all. You just need to focus on the code part, and that's it. So this is a part of serverless architecture. So just working on writing a JavaScript logic, and that's it. So what I can do, I can create a simple use case. Like what we can do, I'll show you in a like paint type of applications. So maybe like you can create a simple page, HTML page having a two fields like email and name. And here you can use as a submit button. You can use this HTML page for event registration page. Okay. So I'll just maybe I'll show you. Where it's- So like in the day one, as I told you, we can create a simple logic here through the cloud functions. So okay. So what you can do, you can create an event registration page. So as of now, you can easily create event registration page. So first you need to create a HTML page. Inside you can pass a field like email, password, not password, like gender or anything you can add. And then you can add authentication as a features, like before submitting a form you need to authenticate the user before filling this form. So you can use Firebase authentications, maybe you can use Google Auth or email and password. And then you can store that data into cloud firestore. If the data is successfully stored into the cloud firestore, then you can trigger a cloud function for sending a confirmation mail, and that's it. So we are doing the same thing here. We just written a logic for adding a data. So here we need to write a logic for sending a confirmation mail, and that's it. So you can do that for sending a confirmation mail. So any other doubt? These functions are very easy. Like with the help of cloud functions, you can do anything. Okay, so this is a documentation link, and this one is for the GitHub, the sample code. Any other doubt? Confusion? Okay, yeah. So now this code lab is done. We have completed the 6 day. So it's time for the project. So you have to create a project, and like you can create a project on, maybe you can create a contact directory. Maybe you have two fields like name and the contact number, and then we have a button, and we can add a data into cloud firestore, and you can read the data, you can delete the data, contact directory data, and you can update, and then you can do anything. And for accessing a contact directory, you need to authenticate the user first, because contact number is a sensitive data. So we need to authenticate the user. So you can create a first project. Either you can go for the contact directory applications, or second, you can create a portfolio kind of applications. So like maybe you can create a portfolio having a two page. So one page having an index.html where you can show your details. So maybe you can show the details, and the second page you can create two fields. Maybe you can add a data, and in the, like you can do that. Like you have to, in the first part as could be considered as an admin, and second page for the user. So admin can add the data, and that data will be visible to the user page, and that's it. And the third, you can do anything, like you can store personal information type of directory. You can do that with the kind of to do or something. And for that, you need to use at least two or three services of Firebase. Like maybe you can use one thing is necessary, like Firebase hosting is very easy. You just need to deploy your website. You can use not real-time database. You can use a Cloud Firestore for contact directory, maybe portfolio or personal information or whatever you want to work on. And for example, in the contact directory, maybe you can create a field for uploading an image for the user. So you can do that with the help of cloud storage. For authentication, that you can use for authenticating the user. And if you have a GCP credits, maybe you can go for the cloud functions for interactivity. Like whenever the contact is added, you can uh, do some creative things. It's totally up to you. Okay, and then you need to submit your project before March 6th. And we want two things, like you can share the live URL. This will be the something is a live URL, and this GitHub repo, and that's it. Okay, and submission will be start from 4th of March, and we will share this URL Google form for the submission on Discord server, and we will share the certificate for that. So any other questions? Yeah, you have to create a project individual. Maybe it will not take more like like tomorrow I'll give you the sample demo. We can create a Saraha type of application. So I think you know Saraha, like where user can add the data anonymously. So you can go to the, I'll give you the demo hosting. I think I have created a project.
And where are we are upload the project for you?
Sorry.
If we are create a project as example, where are you upload that? Send to you, to your email, send to the page, where send
Yeah,
it?
we'll share all the information through your mail, and there will be a Google form where you have to fill the details. Like maybe you have, there is a field like hosted URL, live URL, and second one is for the GitHub repository, and that's it. Okay, and our like as me, like I will check those project, and I will give you the feedback and all, and we'll share the certificates. And this is a sample repository, simple application to tomorrow we will create. So like Saraha type of applications in past 4 3 years, there is a web app where you can share this URL, and this is an anonymous message you can share with your friends. So like maybe I'll share like this is something something something, and then you can share with your friends. So that data is stored into the cloud file store, and this is a data. So there is an admin panel. So you have to log in with your Google account. So this is a dashboard, admin dashboard, and right now we have a data. This is ADDDSS. Okay. So you can delete the data from the file store. Yes, we can delete the data. And right now we have two data. So yes, you can create this type of applications once again. Yes, like tomorrow I'll talk about the same thing. Like we'll create a share your talk kind of applications. So like hello test, and then click on share button and data store, and just reload the page, and we have a data hello test, and this is a timestamp, and we can delete the data. And you can share this URL to the users, your friends, to talk, to share anonymous feedback or something. Okay.
Sir, do we need to do all the projects or any one of them?
Sorry.
Do we need to make all the projects or any one of them?
Yeah, like it's totally up to you. You can create one project. So it's totally up to you. Maybe you can go for the contact directory. You can go for the portfolio. No need to work on all of the applications. You have to create a one applications. Okay. Any other doubt? So again, Firebase is very easy. The same concept, same mission for the Firebase. Our mission is to help the developers to succeed. For example, you just need to focus on the front end part. Firebase is providing a lot of services. For example, you can use Firebase as a database. You can use Firebase as a storage. You can use Firebase as a authentication. So they are providing a set of services. So you just need to invoke that services. So like Firebase uh, will give you a platform where developer can build applications rather than focusing or managing the infrastructure and all. Okay. Yeah, Deves. Yeah, I'm not working at Google. I'm a Google developer expert for web technology and Firebase. It's a kind of developer expert program for Google. They will recognize you as an expert on any XYZ field. So right now I'm an expert in web technology and Firebase. So basically, I work with that team particularly. I collect the feedback from the users like you all, and we'll share the feedback so that we can improve our developer ecosystem to the users and all. Any other doubt? Okay, so thank you so much once again for joining us. And I have shared the resources, same thing in the live chat. You just go to the Firebase documentation inside Cloud Functions, and then you can check it. And one thing, you just need a like premium account for the GCP for accessing your Cloud Functions. So this is a kind of one point you just need to work on. Okay. So thank you so much once again for joining us. And tomorrow I'll talk about all of these services, and we will create a simple applications based on these services. Scratch or yes, you can use any template. It's totally up to you. Template in terms of HTML, you can use anything, but you have to work on these services. So maybe you can go for the Firebase authentications, storage, or file store, or you can use real-time database or anything. You can do that. Okay. So thank you so much once again for joining us. And if you have any doubt, feel free to message me on Discord, and we have a group and we can share our feedback and all. Thank you so much once again.